I got it.
I got it too.
Whee!
Okay, so if you can all just close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes and just connect to your breath and feel your breath for a few moments. Feel your breath entering your body and then leaving your body. Feel the quality of your breath today. And see how it is to take those breaths. Do they go deep inside you or they are shallow? And just notice. Don't try to change anything, just be with whatever comes, whatever is. And into that space, into that circle, I am inviting our ancestors, all of those who walked before us and who offered us their gifts and who live in our bones, in our blood. And into this space, I would like to invite our descendants, all of those who will walk this earth after us. I am inviting all the spirit helpers, all the angels, all the guides that walk with us, that protect us, and help us to see clearly, see our way clearly. And for a moment, focus on the land that you live on Mother Earth, and send her your blessing. Just connect with your heart to the heart of Mother Earth and feel her for a moment with gratitude and love. And take a deeper breath, and whenever you are ready, open your eyes. And welcome to this space. Thank you for accepting this invitation to Crow to talk today. I'm really grateful for that. And thank you, those people who joined us here and those who will watch it later. I welcome you and I weave you into the circle so that you sit with us. And I just wish that whatever needs to be transmitted in this conversation may be transmitted in the most beautiful way. And Tukro, I have known Tukro for 22 years, I believe. A long time. And there are many, many memories that come to mind when I think about you. You were a scientist, which I learned after like 7 years of knowing you, that you are a PhD and you are oceanographer. I don't know if I get the word right, but yeah. Because to me, you were just, or not just, but you were a ceremony leader. And I've always perceived you as holy man, as someone who really embodies what you are teaching and what you are doing and what you are sharing with people. And you do it in a funny way. So it's always light and easy. And even when we're sitting in purification lodges together with Robert, Glenda's husband, who is in the spirit world now, Robert was always serious about the ceremony and was done in a very beautiful way, and would sit somewhere in the corner and laugh. Yeah, and I would be a bit embarrassed, but it was hard not to laugh. Yes, and yeah, whatever you would like to add about yourself, I'm like, first of all, I would like to know where your name comes from, Tukro, because your real name is James, but you carry this name. So if you would like to say a little bit about that and just introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. Very beautiful opening. Thank you for that. And in fact, with that, we could close because that you covered everything in the universe, and really sweet and strong. And I love my little sister. It's I grew up without sisters, so I love adopting sister. Glenda and Claudia are there in their sisters, and I got a lot of sisters now. I'm so grateful. Um, okay, well, I could do that. I pre-scripted and wrote it all down. See, it's right here. Oh, blank page. uh, I Yeah, okay. How I got the name. So it's I have to do a little backstory because some of you don't know who I don't even know who I am. So here's who I believe I am. I believe I'm an eternal spirit in, and I'm using a fancy esoteric word, only one, ephemeral robe. Ephemeral means this body is here today, gone tomorrow. It's not eternal. I believe my spirit is, and I have no proof of anything I say. So you can always write it off to, well, crows. How many of you listen to crows anyway? So that's who I really am, an eternal spirit. And this is the body I chose to be in. I believe this is how it is. We're all spirits. One day, I don't know why or what happens, but we know time to go back, get a body, and learn something. So since I was born in 1943, there were no computers. So I wrote a 4-act play, The Life of James D. Schumacher, because I wasn't Ducro then. And if you look up at the Milky Way tonight, you'll see a place where there's a little cross, which in reality isn't there, but you can see it. And the Lakota people say that there's where grandmother sits. And you can Google Lakota grandmother and you'll get her name. I can never remember it. And she sits there and she directs where the spirits go when they go back from being in a body to when they come in and go into a body. That's what I believe. So I wrote this big, long 4-act play. It was really beautiful because all the world's a stage. Isn't that what Shakespeare said? And we're all actors. So I wrote the play. I'm the director. So grandma takes it. She's a speed reader. She read, it's 300 pages. She's done in a nanosecond. She said, okay. And she already called me Tukro. Okay, Tukro, tall, dark, and handsome. No, boss, not this time. Sorry. Okay, Tukro, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. No, you're going to live on a chicken farm and you're going to be economically poor. Okay, Tukro. Jesus, Grandma, quit changing what I wrote. Wait till I come back. No, never mind. You can't win with Grandma, okay? So then I chose the mother that my eternal spirit would join the egg and sperm and blah, 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 and cells divide. And there's this little blob living in what should be the most sweet, luxurious place in the universe called your mom's womb. But no, man, what's going on here? By the time I've been there 8 months, I says, great Googa Mooga, I got to get out of here. This is toxic. This person doesn't really want me. So I was born premature. I wasn't born, I left. That's how I see it today. That's part of my conscious evolution. I'm always rethinking. I used to think my mom didn't love me and expelled me. Today I say, no, no, no. I made the choice to get out of there. Now, of course, I didn't really know, because at age 8 months, 1 week, you don't know too much. I didn't know that 1943, they're going to put me in a sterile incubator where I was untouched by human hands for about a month. And this has infected my life ever since. Because not being touched is deprivation for me. Maybe for you too. I can't speak for no one else. But for me, what's wrong with me? Why is nobody touching me? And I either was going to dissipate, die, brain blow up, or I was going to say, oh, you know what? No one touches me because I'm a piece of junk. It's called shame. Not that I did something wrong, but I am something wrong. So, in the words of John Bradshaw, and you can look him up, he's written some beautiful books about how to recover from shame. And he's an alcoholic like me. So I was a shame-based person. So then the rest of my life, till I found a key to unlock that, everything came from a base of feeling fear and self-doubt. Everything. And yes, I'm a PhD. I wrote 48 publications. I got a wall full of plaques, but that didn't mean I ever felt good. Success isn't the same as feeling happy, joyous, and free. So, skip ahead about 12 years. I'm 12 years old. I'm at my buddy's house. They're Italian Americano. His pop makes something called Guinea, which is a derogatory name for Italians, red wine. And we got a hold of a whole bottle. And this is one time, by the way, 12 years. I have an older brother who's now in the Star People. We never played. He terrified me. He never hit me or anything, but I was so terrified. There was no connection. And we lived in a little 4-room farmhouse. No connection. But we're at this house. We're getting, and I get drunk. And he gets mad at me. And we go outside. And he punches me. And my mouth is bleeding. I love the taste of blood. I still do. Maybe I'm a vampire. My teeth came out though, so I can't bite anybody today. Don't be afraid. And I fell on the ground. It's winter in New Jersey. It's covered with ice, snow. And it didn't hurt me, man. And I said, my God, this is my God. It's called alcohol. And she's beautiful. You just suck her down and there's no more pain, man. I didn't drink because it tastes good. I didn't give a damn what it tastes like. I just want to be gone. Then I'm in heaven. That's a 12-year-old kid. How does a 12-year-old kid, 14, whatever, how do you find alcohol? My parents weren't alcoholic. There was a bottle and I tried and steal it, but after a while they catch on and putting water back in. So that doesn't work. But there's a town about 5 miles from where I live. I hitchhike into town, go down by the tracks, and there are these old black men. And they were hobos or what, I don't know, I don't want to put labels on them. I said, hey man, could you buy me some alcohol? Yeah, kid, sure. Could we have a little? Yeah, shit, I'll share it with you, man. What do you want? I don't know, something good. Oh, Thunderbird, which is nothing but cheap rot gut wine. But we used to say, what's the word? Thunderbird. What's the price? 30 twice, 60 cents for a pint of shit. Little bottle, I stick it over my butt. I could walk by the police station. Hey man, I got alcohol. And anytime I could get alcohol, I'd drink. I could never say, oh, this tastes good, bullshit. I just want to get drunk. I don't want to feel the pain of toxic shame. So I became so good at getting beer that it became, right now, I'm recording what people said when I graduated from high school because I kept the yearbook. And I have a recovery companion in the program I work today called Adult Children of Alcoholic and Dysfunctional Homes. It's a 12-step program. You may not have heard it, but you can Google www.adultchildren.org, and there are meetings in Poland, I'm sure. Anyway, see, I lost the track. The train went off the track. And drink. Oh, so my nickname, I see what people wrote in my book. Hey, beer, don't get too drunk. One day, the health education teacher, we're in the auditorium because it's a big class. And he doesn't notice that the school principal walked up behind him and he's reading something. Hey, beer, you want to tell us about having sex or something? Everybody, and I was so proud that I actually had a name. That people saw me, because my mom and dad never saw me. My brother never saw me. Now, it turns out I love all three of them dearly today. Because they did love me. They just didn't know how to show it. Duh, neither did I. Then I go off to college, but man, come on. I finally found a girlfriend, and we're starting to get a little physical and starting to smell those pheromones. And you know, I don't want to go to college. I want to go to work and earn money. So after 2 months, I dropped out of college. Began washing cars at a used car lot. I want to be a professional car washer. And then one night we're going to a movie, and it's night, and I wasn't drinking, and I wasn't driving fast, but this man ran in front of my car. I hit him. He's laying in the road. I have a brand new coat. I put it on him. The ambulance comes. I go to the hospital. He's dead. And you know what I thought? This is what alcoholic addict brain does. I thought, son of a bitch, I lost my new coat. I just killed somebody. No, nothing. What is it? No, he showed no remorse, Judge. Anyway, it was deemed it wasn't my fault, blah, 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 blah. I was pointing to a guy I'm working with. Look, he dented the hood of my car. God damn it. And the guy says to me, but you killed him. Don't you think about that? I said, look at my car. And that's the cunning, powerful, and baffling part of alcoholism and addiction. And you can probably be that way without either alcohol or addiction. You don't have to be addicted to alcohol and drugs. You can be addicted to sex. You can be addicted to gambling. You can be addicted to being an asshole, whatever. But it's the same thing. It has control of my brain, and it had me do things that are not me. That's not who I am. That's not that little eternal blob that came from Wichapi Luta. See, she's here on my arm. Wichapi is star in Lakota. Luta is red. Why did I have that red star? Later we'll get there. She's been with me before I came back. It may be where I'm from. And it's actually, look tonight. Go out and look in the sky in the south, your same latitude kind of, and you'll see this red star. And you probably call her Antares. And she's the heart of the, what do you call those things? Constellation called Scorpio. That's who's, anyway. Don't get lost. It's easy for me to get. I drank and drugs so much, I have no brain cells. Anyway, so that's who I was. And then I'm hitchhiking into town because I finally bought a new hood and they're replacing it, so I have no car. Hitchhike. This woman picks me up and her daughter says, "Hey, don't I know you from high school?" Yeah. Hey, why don't we get together some? Now remember, I'm with this other woman. And this is a pattern I played out time after time after time. Oh yeah, let's meet in the parking lot tonight. And then I got some beer, we went parking, and I got to I don't know, was second base, third base. I didn't score, but I got further. I hope I don't sound like a heart. Well, I'm me. So I immediately dumped the other one. And this is a pattern that played out time after time after time. I never learned because I didn't understand the difference between pity and love. And I loved people that I could pity, women especially, pity, and that I could fix you because I'm God after all. And that, so anyway, so now I have a new relationship. I end up going back to college because really working 12 hours a day, earning $1.50 an hour didn't do me all that good. And I go back to college and we pretend we're married and blah, blah, blah. And I say, should we use some contraceptive? Oh no, I was in an accident. I can't get pregnant. 4 months later, I'm pregnant. Okay, let's elope, we'll get married. We did, and I had my first child. And I wasn't the kind of alcoholic that drank every day, but when I drank, I'd get drunk. And I didn't see it as a problem because now I'm a father, I have a kid, I'm going to college, I'm successful. No, I got a 2.5 GPA. That's not really very outstanding. And I'm still doing these things that an alcoholic addict does. I get a job. I mean, all along, the spirits, my creator, has given me doorways to open and gifts, always gifts. Hey, you want a job working in this drugstore down in Bradley Beach? He pays X dollar. I can't remember, but in those days it was good. I'm such a good worker. Within a couple months, this guy gives me the key. Says, you go open Sunday. You run the whole thing. You can't dispense drugs, but run the whole thing. He trusted me. Meanwhile, while I'm working, I learned how to steal money from the cash register. You buy something for $10. I ring up 8. I put 2 in my pocket. The register balances at night, and I have money. Because he owes me money to go eat, right? Right? That's sick thinking.
So
But I did that. What?
Would you say that this is like a pattern for people who are addicted? That the lies and the stealing,
Yes.
it's like.
Yes. Yes. Everything, I could justify anything. Anything. And I think it is a pattern. And I think if you ask 10 alcoholic addicts, they'd all agree. Or they'd lie about it.
I read that the word alcohol comes from Arabic language, from al-kahul, and it means the essence of spirit. And then when I thought about this, like alcohol extracts essences of different plants, you can make tinctures out of it.
Yep.
So you pour alcohol over anything and it will just suck out the spirit.
Yep.
So I suppose that's what happens to a person who is drinking. Yes, it just sucks up the spirit. So there is no one there left.
Yeah.
And entities are there. Different other spirits are occupying the body that is just left there.
Yeah, and the spirits that tend to come into my mind in those days were the ones that could justify stealing money. This guy gave me a gift of a job and I was stealing. And then drugs would come in sometime, and if they said federal law prohibits distribution without a bill, I'd steal those and take those. So I started getting into drugs. But then things go on, and we decided to have another kid. The one kid that I've had that was a choice. Yes, let's have a baby. And that's my son. And he and I have a very strong relationship today. So it goes on, goes on. Somehow this is now 1960, whatever, 68, 69. I managed to graduate with a degree in physics, with a 2.7 GPA, which would not get me into any graduate program anywhere. But the school is that year, they started a master's program in physics. And of course, they'll take me because I'm one of their own. And so, and I got a job right away with the US Army Electronics Command, research physicist, had a patent, publishing papers, making money. They're paying for school. One day, get a picture of Jesus. Don't ask me where it came from. I'm not a Christian and I'm not religious in that way at all. But I love Jesus, whose name was Yeshua. There's no J in Hebrew. How they call him Jesus, no say. Anyway, I put it up on my wall above the laser. And every day I talk with Jesus. He's helping me do my research. So I've always talked with the spirits is the point there. Whether that's insanity or not, it doesn't matter to me. One day I come in Monday, Jesus is gone. Jesus Christ, where'd you go? I go run down to the secretary. Who took my Jesus? What happened? Oh, the inspector general came from Washington, D.C., and they thought that wasn't a good thing to have on the wall. I said, cool, I comprende. Could I have my Jesus back? Oh, they threw him away. So you can't throw away Jesus, my Jesus. I decided right then and there, I can't work. And right along with that was this, as I said, I was born with shame, so I lived with fear and self-doubt. And I'm a little guy. Sometimes the fear might be physical, you're gonna get beat up, but the fear was everywhere. So now at work, even though I'm successful, I'm afraid somebody's gonna ask me, do you know what you're doing? And I can't answer. So I go down to the ocean. This was in Long Branch, New Jersey. And I'm saying, Jesus is gone. I can't work here anymore. And so grandmother ocean says, hey, come study me. You love swimming in me. And I surround you. I hold you in my arms. I love you. Come study me. Come on, we'll have fun. Okay, I'm going to be an oceanographer when I grow up. All along, I'm still drinking and stuff. But see, it isn't simple. It isn't just black and white, my life. I don't think anyone's is, but I don't like to talk about anyone else. So it isn't simple. I wasn't just an alcoholic who did really screwed up, lie, cheat, and steal. I was also a quality human being who came out sometime and listened to the spirits. I got accepted at 4 places. The one that gave me the most money, because by now I have 2 kids, so I really can't exist on nothing. So I go to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And after a couple months, I found another lover. And her name was marijuana. Oh, she was the sweetest thing. I never got nauseous like sometime I would when I drank. And it didn't inhibit me from being in my, I mean, when I drank, I'd be out cold on the floor. But when I get high, I'm just feeling good. Then I found LSD, then I found mushrooms, blah, 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 on and on. So somewhere in there, I have my own office because now I'm a graduate teaching assistant. And I share office with another guy, and he says, Two Crow, and of course I didn't carry that name, but that's where I am. Two Crow, you keep getting high, you're never going to graduate. Oh shit, man. Don't ever challenge an alcoholic addict. Never. Wrong way to go if you're working with somebody. As soon as he said that, boom, I'm getting high every day. Every day. When I go in for my oral exam, when I get my PhD, every time I'm high. So the guy noticed, Two Crow, every time we have a party, you're drunk and out cold. You think you got a problem? I said, no, I drink really good, don't you? he said, I want to take you out tonight. So I thought we are going to go get drunk. Yeah, let's go, man. We drive over to this little shopping mall. We go into this building, it's all dark, and there's a bunch of people there, 10 or 12, and they're all smoking cigarettes. What the hell is this? Hello, my name is so-and-so. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, shit, we're at an AA meeting. It's 1973. And I listened to these people and I said, oh, man, I am an alcoholic. Now, they don't talk about addicts, so I said, I'm going to quit drinking. Simple. And I did for 6 months. No alcohol, but I used 10 times more dope. So it was, I didn't quit anything. And then one day I said, see, I didn't use for 6 months, so I'm not an alcoholic, I can drink. And that's what the disease does, see. You could say, oh no, I'm fine, look, I didn't drink today, and 2 days later, you're drunk. Until, and I'm getting to it, I swear, I'll get to it. So this is in college, and then my wife, I'm on a cruise in the Caribbean. The neighbor says, well, we should swap partners. That was very popular in the 70s. It was called wife swapping, but you could call it husband swapping.
I think it's called swingers today.
Could be, or polyamorous.
Polyamorous, yes.
Which I thought, well, of course I can be, but it wasn't really working for me. But what it did, that alcoholic brain, there was this woman who was a secretary who we flirted a lot. And so, well, I can have sex with her because I had sex with this other one. And we became sexual partners. And she liked to get high. And so it was beautiful. There's nothing like having spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental union of two people. And it was beautiful. But of course, it was all lies and deceit at the same time. But you know, that's what dialectic means. Composing thoughts, they meet somewhere. So of course, with all that shit going on, you know that marriage is dead already. Because that wife likes to get drunk, but won't use dope. Then she gets pregnant when we thought we were using protection with another unplanned child. Oh, that's great. Now we have 3, blah, 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 blah. Again, my creator who loves me unconditionally, you know, here finally I'm getting ready to graduate. I'm writing hundreds of letters because I want to become a college professor at a small school where I can really help you understand the Gaia theory. You were talking about Mother Earth. It's published, Gaia theory, that the Earth is a living thing. This is in a scientific journal. Because of course we know she is, but scientists don't always accept reality. Anyway, I get a job. I call them up, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, we'll hire you. Come out to Seattle. Are you kidding me? How did that happen? So I end up in Seattle, and that marriage falls apart. It gets so bad that I'm breaking glass in the house, and the kid's mother, my wife, is terrified. And one time I held a knife to her throat because she wanted me to buy her a plane ticket to go to San Francisco to meet her love. I found letters. I was checking her underwear to make sure she wasn't sexually active. Oh. But that's what alcoholics do, common pattern. I held that knife to her throat. It's hard, you know, I say it now easily because, yeah, that's what happened. I said, I ought to kill you. And she said, go ahead. And that was the right thing to say. I dropped the knife. 3 days later, she was gone with my kids. So that, but I already had another woman who I could pity and love, who was on welfare. So I could really help. I could really be a hero. And I'm still using drugs every day and getting drunk on weekends. But I'm a workaholic. I go to work at 6 in the morning. I'll be there at 5 at night. writing proposals, and finally they start getting funded. And lo and behold, I become the director of the program. Go ahead.
Yes, so I'm hearing that like life was good at that time. Like there were some crazy incidents, but life was good. So like why did you stop drinking?
I wouldn't say, I would say life was what it was. It wasn't good because I knew all these things I was doing in my personal life, especially, were not being who I am. I was being a reactor to situations. I was being a chameleon. Oh, you want me to be this way? Fine, I'll be that way. I wasn't me. That wasn't me. Is not somebody who makes a commitment to be with one woman and then goes out and has sex with them. That's not me.
So what?
Don't make the commitment if you want to be free. That's fine. I don't mind if you have sex with 1,000,000 people, but don't say you're not going. You make a commitment, then I say I want to live and die by that. If it kills me, fine. So no, life wasn't good. My heart, next to my heart was a black hole. And everything that came in, somebody would say, "Wow, you just won the Paper of the Year award." Oh, it was nothing. I was lucky. Everything. I couldn't take a compliment. It wasn't good. It was insane.
So what did make you stop? Like was the one?
We almost got to there. I'm actually doing a chronology. I'm sorry. So now I'm with the other woman and blah, blah, blah. And we're trying to blend families. And that's a real challenging thing to do. When you got two people who are, I'm an alcoholic addict, she's dysfunctional child of alcoholics. So it's all a nightmare. And March 1985, I'm up in Kodiak, Alaska. Chief scientist, ready to get on a ship, go out to sea for a month, do research. I'm sitting in a little bar in downtown Kodiak, Ship's Tavern, and I'm drinking bourbon after bourbon, beer chaser, bourbon, beer for hours. Nothing's happening. I'm still feeling that emptiness. I'm not happy. I'm not a happy camper. My life looks good, maybe from the outside, but it's shit. Because I don't love myself. I don't even like myself. Because I'm living a life of deceit. I'm living a life that has no substance to it. That has, I'm connected, I mean, to the stone people, the ocean, that saved me from killing myself. And if you want to call that good, then life was great because I had that connection. It was true. But man, when I think about those times, I could almost cry. Poor little guy, man, wake up, wake up. Oh, I can't get drunk anymore. I'm still using dope. Get back to Seattle. Tell wife number 2, we got to do something. This is not working. Finally, something light goes on. Social services of King County, Washington. We go, the woman said, bring all the kids, blah, blah, blah. We share after the meeting's over. I'm talking too much, my throat's going. She says, I could help your family. I think you're an alcoholic addict. And if you don't stop, I won't see you. And in that moment, my creator came, her spirit came into that woman. And I could see whatever you love, whatever you trust, Jesus, whatever, was right there in the room. That's it. That's who was talking to. And I heard it here. I said, you got it, girl. say something. That was intense. But I did it. May 1, 1985. And go to 5 meetings. I go to an AA meeting at the UW campus. I'm now an affiliated associate professor in the School of Oceanography. In addition, working for NOAA as director of the program. So it sounds great, and you must be something, huh? I go to the meeting, and by mistake, I say something about using drugs, and they almost throw me out because there are very strict AA people. No, this is not about addiction. Alcohol only. So I start going to NA. And when the end of the month came, I knew I made it. I'd thrown away all my dope and I had no alcohol, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going. So I'm at a meeting and I go to leave, and the woman who led the meeting comes over and she says, "Hugs, not drugs. See you next week, right?" And that was 37 years ago. So I've continued going to meetings, not as many as I used to.
So we just stopped like that?
No, I didn't do anything. Here's what I believe. I believe that Vichapiluta and my creator took the compulsion from me. But here's a key to remember about alcohol. What happens if you take the alcohol out of an alcohol? Take alcohol out, what's left? Ick. So I was ick because of my childhood. That's why I became an alcoholic. I didn't get infected with a virus called alcoholism. I didn't have a mental deficiency that made me drink. I came with so much fear, self-doubt, and shame that drinking and drugs were saviors until it didn't work anymore because I couldn't keep fooling myself.
So what did help you to stay that way? Because I hear that you say that the mystery took the compulsion of drinking from you, but then you have to be there on that path. So how did you stay there?
I can talk. Well,
If you can
that's the next part is, okay, so that was Act 1 was from age nothing to when I first got drunk. Act 2 was 30 years of drinking and drunk. Act 3 is now you don't drink, who the hell are you? I don't have a clue. You know, people had asked me, and I remember this one more, well, you know, who are you? I'm an oceanographer. And she said, no, you're not. You're a human being. That's what you do. That's not who you are. Who are you? I couldn't answer. Today I can, but then I don't know what you're talking about. So I kept going to AA. After 4 years, this is really slow, I decided maybe I should do the steps. Even though at the first meeting they said, go to meet, put the plug in the jug, go to meetings, do the steps. So 4 years later, I did the steps and I began getting this sense of who I am.
So who are you today?
Who am I today? I'm an eternal spirit in an ephemeral robe who wants to be a beacon of humor, kindness, respect, and love. That's it.
Okay.
And ask again, the same thing will come out because I really believe that. So I did the steps. I made amends to my first wife. When I sold the house we had, I didn't give her half the money. She didn't ever say anything. I never had to do that. And it was thousands of dollars. But I suddenly found that I had integrity. Oh my God, look, we made $5,000. I got to send her 25. I get a cashier's check. I send it to her. She calls me. I can't cash that. It's not mine. I said, burn it if you want, but it is yours. Common property state. Half of it was yours. And I felt so good. I went to my kids and said, hey, I screwed you guys up. You rode in that little Volkswagen Bug with me when I was smoking dope. You probably got secondary highs. Plus, I was not a healthy person. If you want to, I'll go to counseling. One took me up. After 3 sessions, she said, Dad, you were fine. Denial's a beautiful thing. I wasn't.
The longest river.
Yeah. And people love to just wallow in it. So then that marriage, of course, had to end. So it did. And for once in my life, I'm on my own. Well, of course, that's terrifying. But former wife, number 2, has me come over once. Look what I got. She had this little puppy. Here, hold him. And I hold little puppy peas. And right then I said, I want that dog. I didn't say it out loud, but within a week, because I got permission to walk the dog. And then one day she said, here, have the dog. And that dog went to me every Sundance until she died. And that dog taught me so much. So finally, we're going to get to my name. Yes, because that's what you asked. So I now have a dog, and the dog and I are bonded. We go everywhere. And one day I'm walking in Magnuson Park when they were building. And I could feel something behind me. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. I look up. There's a beautiful, giant red-tailed hawk. And this bird is hauling ass. It's going due south. And what's chasing it?
2 crows.
2 crows. and I say, I know this is a message. And the crow said, if you want to be happy, stay in your territory. And so I'm saying, what the man, come on. Why can't your messages be in simple language? So they come back. They've chased the other one away. They said, if you want to be happy, know who you are and what your purpose is. And in the chat, which I didn't send yet, I've actually written some of this so people can go online and find it, because I'm not going to read it now. So that happened. Then I started going to personal ads to find my my, what do you call it, soulmate. And I finally get an answer back. And one says, yeah, because stop by, we'll walk over it. Daybreak Star Discovery. I live right next door. So I said, I got a dog. Oh yeah, we can walk together. I go to her house. She works at the School of, what are people who build houses? Architect. She's a secretary, but she's also an artist. I go in, she's got all these neat carvings and paintings. And I look at this one. She said, I gotta go change and we'll walk. Okay. She said, you can touch stuff, don't worry. I look and there's a coyote carved out of alabaster. Beautiful. And it's got, the eyes, I swear, are red and they're looking at me and they're burning into my soul. And I went over and I picked it up. And as soon as I did, bolt of lightning shot down. wow, what is that? She comes in, she said, you can put it down, it's okay. He won't bite you. And it turns out she's a Colville Indian. The next day, I'm at an Al-Anon meeting. We had long hour and a half meeting. We always had a break. I'd also quit smoking at the time. And this guy says, hey, you're going to go to that seminar? What seminar? Native American spirituality. I said, no, I'm not interested in it. He said, yeah, this guy, Little Coyote. Oh, I gotta go. That's what the coyote is. So again, creators, spirits, red star, they always open the door. But I had to walk through. They didn't push me. I went, I took her with me. She said, that guy's full of shit. He was allegedly Cheyenne. I think it turned out he wasn't any more Native American than I, which is 0. I was born in the Bronx, if that makes you Native American, but no. But there, I met people. I met the woman who became my 3rd wife. And this finally became the next cornerstone of who I am today, is my walk on the Red Road, which is the common way of saying Native American spirituality. It's really indigenous people, because I have a sister who's Maori from New Zealand. I have a sister who's Inupiat from Alaska, and she does not consider herself Native American. So it's more than Native American, but I began walking on that road. And then this woman, Barbara Means Adams, she's written a book, Google it, it's a beautiful book. She decides that I am the one she wants to pray for her grandson who has a hole in his heart. I can't tell you why. I still today, I said, Auntie, I don't even have a chanupa, a sacred pipe. I go to a nipi, a sweat, a purification line. This man gives me a pipe. Where'd that come from? Now I'm carrying this pipe. And so we do a ceremony, pray for this kid. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing whatever she told me. Then behind me, see that little feather right there? Little feather. That's from a spotted eagle. It was Joe Brown's. Barbara tells me, you gotta go talk to Joe Brown. He's been carrying a pipe for 45 years. He's from Papa Lakota from Fort Peck, Montana. He'll help you. But I still wasn't me. I didn't feel worthy. Didn't feel worthy of speaking to a real pipe. So I didn't for a couple of years. Then one day, this woman comes to me and says, Two Crow, I've been beaten and raped. They caught the man. We've been in trial 3 days. They're trying to make it look like I made him beat me and rape him. And that does happen. Women are, wear scanty clothes. I don't know. Will you pray for me? Because I know you carry a pipe for the people. That was my first. Barbara didn't come to me with tobacco. She set up this woman was the first. I says, yeah, sure. Okay, see you later. Not a pipe ceremony, just me, pray. Go up in the room. I have one eagle feather, not Joe Brown, given to me by a Oglala Lakota man who gave me the feather, says, I hate white people. But the eagle told me she needs to be with me. Thank you, brother. What am I going to say? Great big guy. So I have that one feather. And I'm thinking, what am I going to pray? That the man be found guilty, even though the woman has a scar and I believe her story. I'm not a judge and jury. What can I pray? Help me. Why don't you pray justice be done? Oh, that's easy. and that the man never hurt anyone, including himself again. That sounds generous. Okay, I pray that as soon as I did, poof, that little feather became a big grandmother eagle. Oh, gee, don't shit on me, bird. Hey, Two Crow. I didn't have the name yet. I'll get there, I swear I get there. Two Crow, why don't you go tell Great Mystery you'll Sundance to show him how thankful and grateful. Oh, sure, Grandma, I'll Sundance. Goodbye. I didn't even know what it was. But in that class, at one point, I'd given the man tobacco. Will you give me a name? Anyway, he says, yeah, well, go out and find a stone and bring it to class. So I'm down in Altadena, California, climbing up the mountains. Hear this big rock says, hey, Two Crow, it's me. I said, shit, man, I'm flying on a plane. I don't want you, you're 15 pounds. I don't want to carry you. Come on, don't be a wuss. Pick me up. You can get on the plane. They'll let us go. Okay. And it's right out front. I don't even know what it looks like, but just a lot of little dots. So I take it to the guy, and what he sees is crows. So he says, your name is Kanji Watakbe. In Lakota, crow is kanji. Watakpe means charging. Because I want to get things done. I want to go Sundance. I want to. And I'm already 50 something. So if I don't do it soon, I'm going to die, right? So I tell my kids, hey, my name is Charging Crow. They say, what are you, Visa or MasterCard? Oh, man, are you serious? Then I found out this guy was like many alleged shaman or spiritual leaders, especially men. Women may do this too. They take advantage sexually of people. He was a predator. When we found this out, 3 or 4 of us got an elder, challenged him, end of class. So I took that name, put it back in here. I don't want your trash, but I'm connected to crows, so I'm going to keep that. So I said, okay, my name is Little Black Eagle, because for the Cheyenne people, Little Black Eagle is a crow. Oh, that feels good. I'm a Little Black Eagle, and I'm little. Gee, that all fits. Oh. And so anyway, I have this commitment to go Sundance because I told Grandmother Eagle. And so I go talk to this man who at the time we called Uncle Standing Bear, who led the 4 nations, red, yellow, black, white, Sundance in Oregon, just 6-7 hours from where they. And he was the intercessor. So I go down to give him tobacco, brought a big chunk of meat, the women cooked it, we had a meal. This happened to me. I made a commitment to the creator to Sundance, but I don't know where to go. Martin Highbear was his name, one of the 7 bundle holders of the Lakota people. He does that thing elders do. You'll find a place. I said, shit, why don't you invite me to your dance, man? You run a dance. At that time, his dance didn't allow white people to dance. But I got to be the helper of an Indian, who maybe wasn't, who danced there at that dance. And in the lodge, I'm singing a song. I come out, and this guy who's a Tenayano Indian from Puerto Rico, he says, hey, you sing pretty good for a little guy. I said, yeah, I'm trying to get it, you know. Do you know where I could Sundance? I'll go out to North Dakota, Standing Rock Reservation. Make a right off I-90, go down through the gate, make the first left on the dirt road, and you'll see Derwin White Light. That's where his dance is. It going on in 2 weeks. I'm going. I'm getting ready to leave work. By now, I'm endeared to all the crows in the neighborhood because I bring leftovers and stuff in the back of my truck and they eat it. And so I'm getting ready to leave, go to North Dakota. I try to call the guy. They say he doesn't have a phone. This is before cell phones. And these two crows say, hey, little black eagles, you're not little black eagle anymore. You're two crow. I says, you, pardon my French, you dummies, that's grammatically incorrect. Two crows. They said, no, you got no ass at all. You're two crow. And by the way, someday you'll comprende. And there he is. There's a little two crow, two heads, one blue, one red. All of it represents a million things that I'm not going to share now because I'm really going to stop in about 5 minutes. So now we got to like 1995. Now I'm going to go through the rest of my life quick. Derwin was there. Derwin did say you can dance. Joe Brown gave me that feather from his hat. He said, take it, have it blessed and keep it. He had never supported. He said, dance is for young men. I said, why didn't you ever support me? He said, I wanted to make sure you were committed. He said, don't say you're going to do that ceremony and walk away. And that dance, I can't put it into words when we finally got in the arbor. There's only 3 guys drumming, hand drums. This is not a big fancy dance that you saw out there. This is back to what it was before it was even legal in this country, land of the free. Free if you're white man was one, by the way. Anyway, don't go. And that first round, we're sitting down and looking through the fork of the tree. Always the fork tree, right? And there's grandmother mom. And I started crying. I said, Grandma, thank you for all the times you've shown on me with your love and support. She said, well, you pour lodge for me every time I'm full for the next 13 years. Yeah, sure. Which I did do. So I learned about how to make commitments. Then Derwin and I become buddies. And he comes back, stays in my house, and we go down to Goldendale, where there's another dance. And he's going to teach people how to pierce. He laughs at me. You don't teach that. You either do it or you don't. Anyway, we get down there and I end up saying, I want to dance. And the intercessor says, sure. So that was the first time I got to lay on the buffalo robe and they pierced me. And I danced with that tree 4 days. And I knew I was home. Because 12-step program help you live by spiritual principles, but I needed something earthly. I needed to bleed because when I first got drunk, I tasted blood because I was abused, but not physically, and I couldn't show you scars, except where I used to cut my arm with a razor. I needed to bleed, and that was my prayer. So I got a little addicted to piercing. And every time I just was so grateful. So this goes on, and then in 2000, I meet you at a Kainai, which is part of the Blackfoot Confederacy dance, where I went and danced. And at both dances, they say, hey, why don't you come back and help out? Now I got to share this. I said it's going to stop. I will want this done. When I met Keith Chiefman, who Glenda danced with, and then was a helper, and you met Keith, big guy, my little brother.
He's been coming to Poland in the last 2 or 3 years.
Even before that, didn't he go?
No,
Anyway.
it's like in the last few years he started to come and do ceremonies here.
When I met him, it was November on Whidbey Island, which is Washington. Rainy, cold, snow. They were doing a Sundance prep ceremony. This guy calls me 2 days before it starts. Says, you wanted to join the ceremony? I said, man, I am the director of this program. I can't just walk out the door like that. Well, come Saturday to the lodge. So I go Saturday, and in the third round, I asked Keith, could I sing the song in Lakota? Because I don't know Black. So I sang the pipe song that we sing at Mendes Lodge in the third round. He said, you know, someday you got to translate that in Blackfoot, which he did. And so we're done and we're out, and I'm having a smoke because I'm back to smoking cigarettes, a whole different story. And he comes over to me and says, Two Crow, because then I was Two Crow. I'm starting a dance. Why don't you come dance with us? Keith, I'm not an enrolled member of the tribe. Remember my experience with Martin. He said, that's okay. I said, well, and to be honest, Keith, I'm not at all an Indian. He said, I see who you are. And that's why I keep going to 12-step meetings. That's why I keep Sundance. That's why I practice the 4 pillars of the foundation of who I am today, which rely on Native American spirituality, which rely on 12-step spiritual principles, which rely on transcendental meditation. Because Athena sat at the feet of Maharishi, and some of the things he shared just bathed me with, that's who I am. You know, he said, the purpose of life is the expansion of happiness. Not my happiness, not your happiness. And that's what I try and do today. That's why I walk with humor. That's why everywhere I go, people do that, sooner or later. Whether they're laughing at me or with me, it doesn't matter. Those 3 things anchor who I am. And finally, in the north, the place for the elders, is who I've always been. Lost, because grandma did one of the EFT tapping on my head. And I forgot everything I knew. And that is my way of seeing what reincarnation means for me. I had to go through some things for a second, 10th time, 100th time, to get back to, no, I'm this pure spirit. I don't have to be egotistical. I don't have to have fear. My creator, I'm connected to everything that is. What happens if I die? I can't die. It's being born into the life of the spirit. So cancer doesn't bother me. Heart attack doesn't bother me. I see all this insanity around me in the world, which has always been there and always will be. And don't ask me why, Sarah, because I am not great mystery. I'm just down here. Ikshe vichasha hepacha. Maka vichasha hepacha. Kanji no liye. I am a common man. I'm a man of Mother Earth. So that's who I am. And that's how I stay sober, clean, happy, joyous, and free. No, sometimes I feel like shit. And then I accept that feeling and I embrace it. Oh, little guy inside, nobody ever loved you because no one ever did. That's never going to change. The past is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. That comes from a turtle in Kung Fu Panda, by the way.
So, Tukro, you said that you led Purification Lodge ceremony for 13 years, every month, yes, on the full moon. And I remember one time when I came to that lodge and I was bleeding, I was on my moon. Mm-hmm. And in Native American tradition, you cannot enter the lodge when you are bleeding because it's a powerful time and the energy flows in a different direction and it can disturb the ceremony. So I was sitting there and I remember I asked if I can help with dressing the lodge. I don't know if you remember that. And you said, go ahead, sure. And then you said, you can even go in in the lodge if you feel like you want to, because it's time for women to own their power, and it's time for men to stop telling the women what they should do. So you can decide what you want to do, and you can go in, and I will inform people that there is a woman on the moon in the lodge. And I remember this, and I went in, and this lodge was crazy. The men were spitting on the grandfathers and grandmothers on the rocks. You left after like the second round, then you came in, I think, for the in the middle of the third round. It was intensely crazy, but I remember that, what you said, it really went deeply inside me. And then today, when I was looking at your bio that you sent me, at the beginning of your curriculum vitae, you said that you thank to Athena, your wife, because she helped you in many of those things that you have done. And it touched me so much, that reverence for women or for the feminine spirit, even dancing, even pouring the lodges for 13 years because of Grandmother Moon, who is a woman, who is like a feminine energy. It really touched me. This is something that I really carry in me about you, this reverence for feminine spirit.
I have a lot of feminine energy. I'm not a woman, but I have feminine energy. Nurturance and compassion to me are feminine traits. And you were not the first woman on the moon who came in the lodge that I heard.
Yeah.
There's one out in the middle of the woods, again, with the island. And it's raining, it's cold, and I'm doing this for someone else. And these people come, and there's a young woman, maybe 13, maybe her first, second, third moon, I don't know. She said, I'm on my moon, and they told me that I can't go in. I said, who told you? I'm pouring the lodge. I'm leading the ceremony. I trust that the Creator has allowed me to do this. I'm going to ask right now, if you can't come in, there's got to be a leaf fall right on my head. And this is fall, and there's many deciduous trees, and leaves are falling everywhere. Do you think one fell on my head? So I said, you're coming in. If other people can't handle that, they can stay out.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told me that time.
And Barbara told me, she said, some of the things that have oozed into my people's way, Makaha, Uglala, Lakota, didn't come from our ancestors. They came from the Black Robes that are Catholic priests. All the little dead children they're digging up at residential schools in the United States and Canada, those were from the Black Robes.
Mm-hmm.
So she said some of the fear-based stuff that got in didn't come from my ancestors.
Interesting.
Who's the one who brought the Chinoopa and taught how to use? It's not called a man, it's a white buffalo calf woman.
Yeah. The second thing, I always loved your purification lodges, and I haven't been in one in years, but what I also remember from them is that you would channel messages to people in the darkness. So you would just go one by one, and you would say something that was really powerful. And I feel that one of those saved me from being manipulated, which I was, by a medium living close to Deming. But yeah, each morning when I was waking up there, and this woman was super sweet and everything was good, and she was teaching me healing, but I heard your words from the lodge that someone is going to try to stand between me and Creator, and I don't need anyone to stand between me and Creator. So each morning I will have these words in me, and then finally I listened to those words and left that place. It was really toxic, bad place for me, and a big lesson. But I really like the way you did it in the lodge. I don't think you even did it. You were just a channel for the messages.
I've heard other people say things about what I've said, and I have no memory. Well, that's the Frank Fool's Crow said, don't look at me like I'm a great shaman. I'm just a hollow bone. The message can come through me. Then you later say, God, that was really wonderful, Tuko. I said, what were you talking about? And to me, that's not false pride. That's reality. Nothing that I shared with you and all my relatives here who have names and a few faces. And most of that's not from me originally. It's all part of human history. Even people like Isaac Newton, physicist, Newtonian physics, blah, blah, blah. He said, I stand on the shoulders of giants. So when you do that, when you can stop taking ownership of shit, then you can let go of your ego. Then you can just say, I'm going to fall backwards. Creator will take care of me. Then you're in grace.
Yeah.
And when I'm in that place, I can't tell you, I'm feeling it now. It tingles all over.
So we have 10 more minutes left. So maybe there are any questions. Maybe someone has a question to you. So I offer that now. And if you do, just write it in a chat or unmute yourself and just say your question.
If not, I'll give a homework assignment.
Or you want to say something, I don't know, like now is the time. And if not, like you mentioned singing, and like, would you be willing to sing one of the songs?
You're kidding, right? Oh, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, yo, no, hey, oh, hey, oh, yo, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, where, hey, yo, way, hi, oh, way, hi, hey, hey, yo, way, hi, oh, way, hi, hey, hey, hi, hey, yo. Natusi waki moki, kayatsi petapi oma, heya hayo, getchke no tanisi oma, heya hayo. We hala ho, we hala, heya haya, heyo. Yo no he yo he yo yo no he yo he yo he we he yo we hi ho we hi he yo we hi ho we hi hey, 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 yo. Natusi waki moki, dayatsi petapi oma, hey, yo. Ketchke no tanisi oma, hey, yo. We hala, oh, we hala, hey, hey, yo. Oh, no, hey, oh, hey, yo, yo, no, hey, oh, hey, yo, yo, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, way, hey, yo, way, hala, oh, way, hala, hey, hey, yo, way, hala, oh, way, hala, hey, hey, yo. Natusi waki moki, kayatse petapi oma, hey yo. Catch K no Tony see oh my hey yo. Way hala ho way hala hey hey yo. Oh no hey oh hey yo. Yo do hey oh hey yo. Yo hey yo hey where hey yo way hi ho hey hi hey yo way hi ho hey hi hey yo. Natu si waki moki kayatsi pe tapi oma hea hayo getch pe no tani si oma hea hayo we hala ho we hala hea hala hey yo.
Oh, oh. Thank
I'll
you.
I'll go get Athena if you want to really hear somebody sing.
So what was the song about?
That's the Buffalo song. Keith was having a hard time one day. The buffalo came to him and said, whenever you sing that song, it'll bring the buffalo. It not too lucky. Somewhere I have the words written. To me, the songs are not about words, but I'll send you the words. It is a translation from a Lakota Sunday.
So we have 4 more minutes. So if Athena wanted to sing with you, that would be awesome, and then we can close that with.
She might. Oh, Benny, will you come sing with me? Thank you.
Is she coming? Good. Nice.
At Sundance, she sings on the big drum. It's been years for us both. And I will find those words. It's something not to.
They're all simple, so.
It's son, have pity on me. I'm doing this so that the people may live.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, that was.
Yeah, you have been summoned to sing.
I've been summoned. I'm gonna do this. You want drum or anything or?
Drum.
Drum. I finally got the marriage thing down right.
20 years, yes?
4 times, went around the circle.
And you've been 20 years with Athena, yes?
22.
22.
It was funny. At first, she wasn't big on getting formally married. Because didn't feel she needed the government to bless our connection, which I agree. But then when she needed some medical help,
Yeah.
this rich country, can a woman who isn't rich get medical help? I said, well, marry me. I got good medical coverage. And then we found out that us doing it the way we did, the way it happened, was all blessed. And it meant way more than just fixing her foot.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, okay. This is something new and great. Anyway, moving a little bit. What are you doing?
Oh, in.
In.
You want me? Oh, you're going to drum?
Yeah. Or you can drum.
Go ahead.
So what are you doing?
So when you finish singing, I will close the space formally and.
Okay.
So,
Honoring song.
or
Your choice.
don't ask me.
Let's do owl. Somehow owl seems to be.
So this is a Lakota song honoring the owl. many Native American people kind of see the owl with, oh, sign of death. So 1995, Derwin White Lightning staying with me, and we're doing the ceremony up in the Okanagan Mountains. And he's sharing this beautiful, it was such a beautiful, sharing these things with me. We're talking about the owl. And he said, well, if you have cancer, which now I did, but I didn't then, and then it goes away, what does that mean? What are you saying? He said, that means the owl visited and the cancer's dead. You used to drink and drug, that's dead. That means you have owlness. So you won't be afraid of the owl, that's okay. I'm not going to change your mind, but that's the way you're in my I saw the owl.
And
So
the
I-
owl also is the familiar, like the little animal that goes along with Athena,
And sits on
there's-
her shoulder.
sits on her shoulder. And it really, some people call it the night eagle, which I think doesn't do justice to it because you don't have to compare it to an eagle. It's just this, awesome medicine. And like you said, it's about really kind of rebirth for me. And the owl can see things in the darkness that nobody else can. So that's pretty good superpower.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So maybe we can do like intention of everything that's not aligned with our soul may just go away.
Yeah, the owl is that medicine that helps
Yeah.
you release that. So anyway, this song, it took me days, weeks to memorize it because there's so many words. So I'll do my best to remember all the words. Iha waka kimi yellow hey, ha hey ile kola wa yellow hey, mapiana makai kaki unwa welo hey, taku waka kile na me kikumo hey. Iha waka kimi yellow hey, ha hey ile kola wa yellow hey, mapiana makai kaki unwa welo hey, taku waka kile na me kikumo hey. Iha waka kimi yellow hey, ha hey pile kola wa yellow hey, mane ana makai kaki unwa welo hey, taku waka kile na me kikumo hey, iha waka kimi yellow hey, ha hey pile kola wa yellow hey, mapiana makai kaki unwa welo hey, taku waka kile na me kikumo hey.
Mm.
And this part, we were taught that you do that near the end of the song as a way of honoring the spirit world. So they hear that one better, I guess, maybe, than this one. So you're just kind of saying, and that could be spirits of our relatives who have passed on. It could be spirits that guide us, that whole dimension. It's kind of honoring that. Although for me, when I sing and drum, I really am straddling this world and that world when I do that. And that's why it's so much fun. Anyway, I have some macaroni and cheese I have to get out of the oven.
Yeah, okay.
So
Thank you so much.
very much.
Yes.
And is that Glenda?
Yeah.
I thought so. I kept looking at Glenda's photo and it's like it just made me smile. Anyway, okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Tina. Okay, so do you have any closing message? We're like 3 minutes over time or 4, but
Just that each of you deserves to be happy, joyous, and free. And all it takes is to find a path. You know, I've offered you what works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but you have a path. But the key is you can't have anybody between you and the Creator. You got to find that. No one can give it to you. Maybe they can. Maybe there's some shamans or something, but I don't believe that. That's not my experience. It took me to fall to the bottom and depths of despair, which, you know, you were saying, but it sounds like your life was okay. No, it was shit, man. I was in a deep well of despair. And it took me to go there to finally say, no, enough of this. Help. That's all. I put in the, what do you call that thing, the chat, the one thing says something about two crows sends a voice. That I say that every morning. That's the old version because it evolves. Everything evolves. Everything changes. And so now I like what I say even better than what's there. But that's in a form you can get to. You got to find it for yourself. And it really, in the end, is all about loving yourself. Knowing that you're worthy of love. That was the second black dog I had, Amanda. We got this dog. And then we found out that's what her name means, worthy of love. Yeah. And I'm still working on this stuff. It's not like you get to some plateau. Oh, I'm all done now. Aren't you cured? Don't you graduate? No. No, I still at times am not my true self when I interact with you. And I will never be perfect. That's okay. But I keep working on it because I don't want to stagnate. So
Thank
just
you.
know, you know, if no one's told you yet today, one of the elders in our lodge says this every lodge, and I love it. If no one told you yet today, they love you, I love you. That's the American Sign Language for I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And yeah. And thank you all who watched and listened. And yeah, close your eyes for a moment again. I just saw moon, the grandmother moon there shining in front of me. So close your eyes and just breathe again into your belly, into your body, into your sacred vessel. Anchoring that love, self-love, into every cell of your being. May all of them shine with this love and sparkle with this love. And thank your body, and thank your being, thank your spirit for being here on this planet with the mission that you have. Even if it's not clear at times, it's there because you wouldn't be here. I thank all the spirits who have gathered, all the ancestors, all the descendants, all the guides that have been here with us today, tonight, this morning. Thank you. And I am sending many blessings to all of us and to myself. So, yeah. When you are ready, you can open your eyes and thank you.
I'm going to eat macaroni and cheese.
Enjoy. Yeah. Thank you to Crow.
Thank you for asking me, and thank you, Sylvia, for hosting us.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who came, and I pray you heard something that touches your heart.
Okay.
Adios.
Adios.